Hello everyone, welcome to Knights of the Round Table. I'm Luca and this is TJ.
Hello there.
Tonight we are reviewing 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Alrighty then. 2001: Space Odyssey is a is a film that basically follows the development of humanity from apes to something beyond that. The main chunk of the story is about the crew of the, they don't name the spaceship, do they?
No, they don't.
No, it's about crew going to Jupiter to see a strange obelisk which appears throughout human history. Alright,
Pretty much. So, what are your thoughts on 2001?
I really enjoy. Somehow they made a movie where practically nothing. Where it's a very simple movie, and which theoretically nothing much happens in almost 3 hours. I know it's from the 60s.
Simple.
No, I mean complicated films exist in the 60s. Look at Ben-Hur.
I don't know who they are.
It's another. There's plenty of examples, but even for that time, it is like not much happens, like theoretically, and yet for almost 3 hours, and it's still engaging. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's engaging.
What'd you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I think the most notable thing about the movie is the alien monolith.
Yeah, it's
the rectangle.
Yeah, the monolith, which is, if by some chance you haven't seen it, the monolith is basically the artifact they talked about. Yeah, I think it's a very effective prop. It's simple, just a rectangular hunk of black matter.
It's everywhere in the movie.
Well, it's not everywhere. It only shows up 4 times. It only shows up 4. Yeah.
Yeah, but it shows up whenever the major stuff happens.
Yeah, but
I think it's a symbol of time because we go from the prehistoric African veld inhabited by hominids to millions of years later where people are in space.
I don't think it's well. Obviously, there's a lot of things to get out of it, but I don't think it symbolizes time. I think it symbolizes time as much as developments, or I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I would say developments, or just something from beyond. Like,
I'd say time and development.
Was most. There's not much to. I mean, there's the end. Never mind. I do.
We'll hit the spoilers later.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has seen this movie. Anyways, what is, what is there to talk about? I guess we should start with the first scene. What's your thoughts of the hominid part?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very.
I like how they become smarter and use animal bones to attack with.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a very. It's. I wonder where they filmed it because it's such a strange, almost alien landscape.
They go all in on the film locations.
Yeah, I mean,
or the scenery. Yeah.
I mean, part of it's a set, obviously, but there's definitely. But at least I think it's a set. But
they had to use a green screen for the space parts.
They didn't really. Yeah. Did they have green screens back then?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that was a green screen, but I think they just had little props.
Starting in the 60s, I think.
Yeah. It's but I still. But anyway, it's hard to explain this movie because it's just things just happen with most of it's without dialogue or music. It's hard to just explain this movie without just describing every little thing in a list. But but just to explain how it feels, that part. It's very primal. It's surreal at times. It's very dull, which has a very dull color palette, which is contrasted with the end of the film and even some of the middle parts. And even if the makeup doesn't, actually the makeup's quite impressive. But even when the makeup doesn't look the best, it works within that series. Also just like how for the babies they just had chimpanzees. They had little chimpanzees, and it's adorable. And also, I guess that's also just the leopard attack. I think that was a real leopard. Like they just got a real leopard to attack a guy.
Leopard.
Yeah, the leopard. Remember?
I don't remember seeing a leopard in the movie.
Yeah, remember when the ape got attacked?
Oh yeah, when the ape
Yeah,
got
that was a
attacked.
leopard. It was got, yeah, props to the actor. I hope he's all right. But oh my gosh. Anyways, really effective. I guess we're just doing this part by part. Next part, like the moon bit. What was your thoughts on that?
It was cool.
Yeah, it's just
Hmm.
it's
The astronauts are all surprised by the monolith.
Mhm.
They discovered something new,
Yeah.
and they get followed
Yeah.
by they eventually get followed by the monolith in space.
They're not followed by.
The thing sends them signals.
Do you
on
mean
the
they
spaceship.
follow? Do you mean they follow the monolith?
No, the monolith follows them.
I mean, doesn't really follow them. It just sends them. It directs them to space, but it doesn't really follow them.
Yeah, but it gives them signals.
That's not following. They're being led by it. Wait, no, they're being or directed more like. Anyways, this part might be this is one of my least favorite parts. Like all the I love all the space stuff. Like when we see the rotating space station and the space station and the moon and all the sets on the moon. Those are all really well done practical effects, and they're also paired with classical music. I think, which really heightens the scene. But there's a human element. Many of the human actors don't put on too much of a performance. I mean that they're very cold, which is intentional, but it works later on in the movie. But here it just makes it kind of flat. It's not terrible by any means, but it's just not as engaging as the rest of the film.
I mean, they have some fun moments, but in general, they're just a little too toned down.
Yeah, which it's not. That's not a slight against the movie. It just isn't as interesting.
Yeah.
I do. Yes, no.
But I think it's funny how they made food and the drinks on the spaceship.
Yeah.
Like they put everything in juice boxes.
Yeah, that was fun. Also, I forget what it's called, but we'd see the first use of rotating sets, which is most relevant later on. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, which is just incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is very much intrigued. It is just an intriguing thing. I'd like to see how this was produced. Anyways, that's fine. It's a fine thing. The sets are good. The effects are good. Some of the characters are a little bland, but that's okay. But so overall, fine. Just not my favorite part.
Yeah.
Now on to the next segment. The travel to Jupiter.
Mhm.
What was your thoughts on that?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the characters Dave and Frank.
Yeah.
They have more personality than the rest of the characters by far.
Don't forget Hal, who trumps them all.
Oh yeah, Hal.
Yeah.
Even though he's a robot, he has some personality.
Yeah, he has arguably the most personality. Like he has the most motivation out of the group. He has the most character traits. He's the most in depth. He is the central character of the story.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't say central, but he's a major character.
Yeah, major character. Yeah, anyways, the scene. First of all, just such a good way to establish how one of the first things we see is just Dave running around this rotating set, and if that's not a good way to show the monotony of being in space and just the loneliness, I don't know what is. It's just such a well done visual.
Good point.
Let's get into Hal. I really like Hal. He's a very haunting figure. He's deceiving. He's mysterious. He's has an air of arrogance about him, even with his robotic voice and all. He's he's just a really well done villain. That's your font
Yeah.
world.
He says during an interview he doesn't feel any stress at all when he's working with humans, but I think he really does.
I mean, we don't know. That's what's so effective. Is he
But-
really feeling emotions or not?
I think it's why he acts strange on the ship with Dave and Frank.
Well, I think that's less to do with stress, more to do with he's afraid that they're gonna abort the mission. He's just
He's more afraid they're going to shut him down.
that too. Well, that too, but that comes later. From what I think Hal was trying to get rid of them from the beginning, or do something like it's highly. There seems to be something wrong with the satellite dish, and it's highly implied that Hal is somehow messing with the data or something.
True.
It seems to be his. Yeah, speak. It's just such. Anyways, it's such an atmospheric section of the movie. It feels very isolated and lonely. Sets are great once again. Like, I like the space stuff. I like how the sound cuts out at points when Frank is being in space, and just that tense scene of just seeing him wriggle around without any noise. It's just very well. Anything else? Anything you want to add to that?
I like the scene where Dave tries to save Frank.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's already dead, but he grabs him with the robotic arms coming out of the ship.
Yeah.
It's like watching a guy playing an arcade crane. And I like the scene where Dave breaks into the ship after Hal closes the main door, and I like the room he goes into to shut him down. It has a cool setup.
It's well
made.
Well designed set. It's also just a great scene where we don't know we're just unsure again. Just we don't know if Hal's really feeling emotion, so we're just unsure if Hal is just saying all these things, like he's saying, I'm afraid, mainly, just so that he can just continue with the mission, or if he's genuinely afraid of his life. It's just it's simple. It's just simple and very well done. Awesome. Also fun little thing, just all the lights on the people's faces, which is reflective of the next segment we'll get into. It's a good visual to just show their reliance on technology, and also, and it's just, again, just well done.
Yeah.
All right.
Next segment.
Yeah. On to the last segment, the Stargate segment, which is. Would you say this is your favorite part of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's my favorite part.
yeah, it is.
Bright colors, and the screen is coming at you.
Yeah, it's such a well done, like it's such a. I'll explain. It's a strange. It's surreal. It's artistic, and it's beautiful. Like, we don't know what we're seeing. Is he going to another galaxy? Is he traveling through time and space? Is he being shown a new vision? It's just the colors, and as you mentioned, just the screen coming at you.
Yeah.
It's so well done, even with the occasional goofy faces he makes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Those might be intentional.
I think it's partially intentional and partially just to show how he's feeling. It's just or both. It's also just.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Yeah, and then it leads to the bedroom, which is just such a surreal
Has a very
thing.
neoclassical look to it.
Yeah, neoclassical. Yeah, there's a lot of I guess it would be neoclassical paintings. And we just don't know. That's a thing I like about the film, which I don't think I mentioned. just how mysterious but also open to interpretation it is.
Going back to the monolith, I think it further shows that it's a symbol of time by warping Dave's appearance. We see him as a middle-aged man in an astronaut suit, to an older man eating, to an even older version of himself dying in bed, to him as a fetus.
Well, it could be the monolith. It could be where he is. And it could just be showing. It could just be showing his development, and also just going into the theme. Like, that's a constant theme throughout the film. Just human development and evolution.
Yeah, I think he's being reincarnated.
What's that? I don't think he's being reincarnated. I think he is.
He goes back to the fetus stage.
I think he's becoming a new form, like the next stage of human evolution, something more. He's become maybe, who knows? Maybe he sent the monolith.
It's the most logical explanation. It's the most logical explanation.
He's reincarnated? Not. I mean, we don't know. I mean, frankly, it's not. Both are just as plausible. But I think but it's just a. But it's just such an iconic image. Just that, the Star Child, I believe what it's called, and just seeing it look over the world. It's just a great way to end the film. So, what's your thoughts, Luca? What's your ratings and et cetera, et cetera?
I give the movie 9 out of 10. The movie has great scene setups. Like, as I said before, they go all in on the prehistoric scene with hominids and the scene where David gets sucked into a vortex, and has plenty of surreal moments to top it all off.
Yeah, I'd also give it I think this is an incredible film. I'd probably give it a 10. I'd say give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's a very simple, at times very slow film. Like, if you want something fast paced, this isn't the right place for it.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's also just, it has such an atmosphere, and it has such a great atmosphere and chill and great visuals and music. It's just such a cinematic experience. Like, this review does not give it justice. I would highly recommend this film. If you haven't seen it for some reason, I say seek it out, and that's my thoughts.
Okay. So it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you, TJ.
All right.